a $2 bill. $2 bill, Lord, a $2 bill. I lost all my money but a $2 bill. I'm on my long journey home. The black smoke arrives and it must be a train. Must be a train, Lord, it surely is a train. Black smoke arrives and it must be a train. And I'm on my long journey home. I lost all my money but a $2 bill. $2 bill, Lord, a $2 bill. I lost all my money but a $2 bill. I'm on my long journey home. Yeah, pick it. Well, it's cloudy in the east and it looks like rain. Looks like rain, Lord, it looks like rain. It's cloudy in the east and it looks like rain. And I'm on my long journey home. Hey, I lost all my money but a $2 bill. $2 bill, Lord, $2 bill. I lost all my money but a $2 bill. I'm on my long journey home. Lost all my money but a $2 bill. $2 bill, Lord, $2 bill. I lost all my money but a $2 bill. I'm on my long journey home. Well, a great big howdy to you, neighbors. Thank you very much. We're the MacRae brothers. We play old-time pre-bluegrass music and old-time country, old duet music. We call it duet because we're doing duet singing here, although there's three of us. I'm Jake.
I'm Matt.
And this
That's
is Jerry. This song came out of the hills probably of West Virginia, East Kentucky, or Tennessee somewhere. But back in the old days, when somebody passed away, you had to literally go out and saw down a tree and make the coffin and so forth back in the hill days and the mountain days. And this is a beautiful old song called "They Cut Down the Old Pine Tree." Oh, they cut down the old pine tree, and they hauled it away to the mill to make a coffin of pine for the sweetheart of mine. When they cut down the old pine tree, she's not alone in her grave tonight. That's where my heart will always be. Oh, we drifted apart when they cut down. When they cut down the old pine tree. Take one. Oh, they cut down the old pine tree, and they hauled it away to the mill. Make a coffin of pine for the sweetheart of mine. When they cut down the old pine tree. She's not alone in her grave tonight. That's where my heart will always be. Oh, we drifted apart when they cut down the heart. When they cut down the old pine tree. When they cut down the old pine tree.
Back about 1936 or so, Bill Monroe, he became the father of bluegrass later on. Him and his brother Charlie were doing these brother duets, and there was 3 or 4 different brother duets, and it was mandolin and guitar, and it's so beautiful. They started adding different instruments to it, and it became bluegrass music, but then it was known as hillbilly music. Now they've called it folk music, country music, bluegrass music, free bluegrass music. I still feel like it's hillbilly music. That's because I'm a hillbilly and that's what I play, is hillbilly music. This next number is a dedication. It's not a dedication, it's a tribute to mothers, and it's how you feel if you've lost your mother. And you got a very beautiful melody and harmony to it, and Matt does a beautiful job, and it's called Mother's Only Sleeping.
Well, I left my old home way back in the mountains, for mother was called to heaven that day. We followed dear mother way up to the graveyard, for mother was called to heaven that day. Mother's not dead, she's only asleep, just patiently waiting for Jesus to come. The birds will be singing while mother lies sleeping, and they will sing, oh, as the grave sinks away. Oh, how we miss her around the old home place. Everything seems so lonesome since she went away. Mother is sleeping way back in the mountains. Yes, mother is sleeping way back in the hills. Mother's not dead, she's only asleep, just patiently waiting for Jesus to come. The birds will be singing while mother lies asleep, and they will sing, oh, as the grave sinks away.
Thank you, folks.
Well, guys, I know there's a lot of people out there in the TV land that is interested in music and maybe performing some music themselves. How would you suggest that they get involved in the bluegrass or old-timey music?
There's different ways they could do it if they already know how to play a certain type of music and they just want to switch over to this type of music. It's actually be a little harder for them because they've got to forget some of what they know, the style they know, and acquire a different style. And if they should go You can get CDs, and you can actually get videos showing you how to play this type of music. You know?
I would say definitely, if you want to learn, you need to get an instrument and get a teacher. But as far as it just initially getting interested in the music, I know I have a lot of friends who, from my previous life in the rock and roll world, that I try to introduce to the bluegrass and old time country music, and I always take them to go see a live show, because there's nothing like going to see live music to introduce someone into the style. It's so exciting, and bluegrass has so much to offer. Bluegrass and old time country music has so much to offer, with instrumental dexterity and wonderful harmony singing, and if you see it live, it really makes an effect on you.
I see. And don't be too discouraged when it hurts your fingers a little bit. I noticed the end of your fingers there are pretty much covered with calluses.
Yeah.
Yes,
It takes a while to build it up.
That way.
Yeah. I see.
But it's worth it, that's for sure.
Well, very interesting, guys. Now for some real live country music from the MacRae brothers.
The next number is a song that I made up, wrote, or whatever you want to call it. That's what they used to say. I made it up, and then they say, got to be I wrote this song, and you wrote this song, and so forth. But I went back to where I came from in Kentucky a few years back, and went out to the old home place, and where the old home used to stand. There's trees about 40 foot tall now, because that was years ago when we left there. Nobody lived there anymore, but you could just listen real careful, and you could hear the echoes of the past. And so I got a little inspired, and I sat down and wrote one called The Mountain Echoes. Mountain echo,
Mountain echo,
mountain music,
mountain music,
but only in my memory. I can hear,
oh, I can hear
my mama sing,
my mama sing those lonesome mountain melodies.
Daddy played the banjo in the evening when the sun was low. Mama sang a song, a lonesome old song. And when I hear the whippoorwill singing high up on the hill, mountain echoes sing still a lonesome old song. Mountain echo,
Mountain echo,
mountain music,
mountain music,
but only in my memory.
seems I can hear
My mama singing,
my mama singing those lonesome mountain melodies. Pick that guitar.
as a stranger, where a cabin used to stand. Those lonesome happy memories are flooding my soul. I close my eyes and I can hear melodies ring loud and clear. Lonesome mountain melodies of the long, long road. The mountain echo, mountain music, run on in my memory. Seems I can hear my mama sing those lonesome mountain melodies, those lonesome mountain melodies.
Oh, thank you, friends. Appreciate you coming out to hear and tuning in out there in TV land. We'd like to thank everybody for putting on this show here.
We're on TV?
Well, we might end up being on TV. Did I get you nervous there, Jacob?
Oh, my gosh.
We are the MacRae brothers, and we like to play the, as Jake mentioned earlier, we like to play the old-time country pre-bluegrass brother duets like they used to do in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s were real popular. Kind of a pre-bluegrass music. Bill Monroe and his brother did this in 1936 to 38 or so. And he took it on later to add banjo and fiddle and that kind of thing, and turned into bluegrass music at one point. But we like to kind of pare it right back down to what we think is the prettiest part of the music, which is the simple, pretty harmony singing, and that's what we like the best, and that's what we try to concentrate on. We do have an internet website if anybody's interested in finding out about us. We play quite a bit down here in the South Bay, and The website is what you might think. It's MacRaebrothers.com. You'd spell that MACRAE brothers.com, and we've got a CD for sale on there, and tells where we'll be playing and when. It's got some pictures and tells a little story about us, this and that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we do have an internet website. You're not hooked up on the internet yet, Jake?
Don't even have electricity where it is yet.
Well, a lot of the Silicon Valley folks do have that, so I thought I might let them know about the MacRaebrothers.com. So why don't we do another original song? That last one Jake wrote was a mighty fine one. You want to tell them about this one?
No, you go ahead and tell them about it. Tell them how it's played and picked, and what the difference is, and what we just did.
Sure. Even though we just use either a 2-piece or 3-piece, we're lucky to have some bass with us today. But we try to put as much variety as we can. There's really subtle differences and some not so subtle differences in the type of music. Jake's using finger picks on this next song that he wrote, which gives the guitar sound quite a different feel. Merle Travis, I think, probably popularized that style of picking the most.
I think he really practically invented this style of music. Chet Atkins picked up on it and did it a little different and a little longer, a little more into it, but Merle Travis was the first man I ever heard.
Merle Travis, from the same part of the country as you are.
Yeah,
right?
he's down from coal mining country in eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, well, but this is one that we use that style on, and it's an original tune that Jake wrote called "I Just Can't Sit and Let the Trains Go By." Let her roll.
I was going down by the railroad track and I see an old tar paper railroad shack. I watched them freight trains go by on the run. And the day I turned sweet 16, they caught me a train in New Orleans. Had to see the house of the rising sun. Well, I drank bourbon on Bourbon Street and danced on out to the Cajun beat. They caught me a train northbound on the line. I've had clam chowder up in Boston, T-bone steaks out in Austin. I just can't sit and let them trains go by.
I just can't sit and let them trains go by.
I always want to hang my head and cry. And when I hear the whistle blow, I pack my bag, we gotta go.
I just can't sit and let them trains go by.
One time I tried to settle down, I married a gal in my hometown. She brought back her great big beautiful eyes. I kissed her goodbye at the crossing, caught me a northbound freight for Boston. I just can't sit and let them trains go by.
I just can't sit and let them trains go by.
I always want to hang my head and cry. And when I hear the whistle blow, I pack my bag, we gotta go.
I just can't sit and let them trains go by. Show 'em a little of that ticket. I just can't sit and let them trains go by.
I always want to hang my head and cry. And when I hear the whistle blow, I pack my bag, I gotta go.
I just can't sit and let them trains go by. I just can't sit and let them trains go by. I always want to hang my head and cry.
And when I hear the whistle blow, I pack my bag, I gotta go.
I just can't sit and let them trains go by.
I just can't sit and let them trains go by. Well, thank you, folks. That's one I just got a kick out of. I used to live pretty close to the C&O railroad tracks down in Kentucky, and I waved at all the hobos when they went by. I used to go out to the apple orchard and get apples and throw them to them when they went through into the open boxcars for the guys. And I couldn't let a train go by. I had to go counted all the cars, how many cars there were, and see all the hobos. And so that's where that one came from. And one day I just driving along, it popped right in my head. You know how they'll do that. The next one come out of Kentucky with Bill Monroe. I Found the Way.
All right.
Matt does such a beautiful job on this, I Found the Way. And it's a religious song. Has a lot of meaning. I hope you folks like it.
Yeah, this is one actually I learned from my my mandolin mentor, Bob Lambert in Louisiana. He got it, I think, from the Lewin brothers. And I'm sure the Monroe brothers did it too.
I think the Monroe brothers might. I could be wrong there. I've been known to be wrong. That's the,
All right, here we go. I Have Found the Way. I have found the way that leads to endless day, yonder in the glory land. And the road is bright, for Jesus is the light, and I'll hold his guiding hand. I've found the way, I've found the gospel way. I've found the way, I have found the glory way. Glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I've found the way, I've found the way. I will never fear while Jesus is so near. I will bravely meet the foe. Happy songs I'll sing in honor to his name, and to glory onward go. I found the way, I found the blessed way. I found the way, I have found the gospel way. Glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I found the way, I found the way. To the journey's end, led by our guiding friend, and no more in sin I'll roam. By the way called straight, I'll reach the golden gate, and to glory onward go. I found the way, I found the gospel way. I found the way, I have found the blessed way. Glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I found the way, I found the way.
thank you.
Thank you.
That's a great old song. Matt does such a good job on it, and I love it. I Found the Way. You know, gospel music is about a third of the repertoire of a bluegrass band. Most of it, I learned to sing this music in church. It's where I learned to sing it with old shape notes from a Stamp Baxter songbooks, where it was do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do instead of C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And most of you, a lot of you old-time musicians, that's where they learned it. And this next song might have come, did Rank Strangers come from that?
I don't know, man. I'm not sure if that's written by the Stanley Brothers or.
This is one that's got some very good meaning if you listen to the words and listen to what it's telling you. And it's just a great song called Rank Strangers. I wandered again to my home in the mountain, where you surely dawn. I was happy and free. I looked for my friend but I never did find them. I found they were all rank strangers to me.
Everybody I met,
seemed to be a rank stranger. No mother nor dad,
no mother nor dad,
not a friend could I see,
not a friend could I see.
They knew not my name,
They knew not my name,
and I knew not their faces,
and I knew not their faces.
I found they were all rank strangers to me. They've all moved away, said the voice of a stranger, to the beautiful home by the bright crystal sea. Someday I will go and meet with my loved one, where no one will be a stranger to me.
Everybody I met, seemed to be rank strangers,
No mother nor dad,
no mother nor dad,
not a friend could I see,
not a friend could I see.
They knew not my name,
They knew not my name,
and I knew not their faces,
and I knew not their faces.
I found they were all
Rank strangers to me, rank strangers to me.
Now, just in case you've got the idea that all this music is sad and people in love and unrequited love song and boyfriend killing a girlfriend and all that, it ain't all that way. Sometimes a song will come along and has a little different rhythm, a little different timing. This kind of has a South American flavor to the rhythm, this next one, and Matt learned it from a good old friend down in Louisiana. What's this?
Pat Flory taught me this
Pat
song.
Flory taught him this song, and I learned it probably the same time Pat Flory did, back in 50s from a couple of boys named Johnny and Jack. Jack Wright and Johnny Anglin. And see, Jack was married to Kitty Wells, and John got killed in that plane crash with Patsy Cline and a few of them. But this is a great song that really moves you, called Down South in New Orleans. I've ever seen. Sparkling eyes and lips so sweet. She makes love to the rumble beat. Ships at anchor, my suitcase pack, a one-way ticket and a coming back. Life's a pleasure, love's a dream. Down south of New Orleans.
My dark-eyed baby, I'm on the way back into your heart to stay. Tired of work and I'm ready to play, and I love you night and day.
Down south of New Orleans, the prettiest girl I've ever seen. Sparkling eyes, lips so sweet. She makes love to the rumble beat. Ships at anchor, my suitcase pack, one-way ticket and a coming back. Life's a pleasure, love's a dream. Down south of New Orleans.
Shine so bright, a beautiful tea light of the night. Come on, skipper, I'm ready to ride. I'm only waiting for the tide. Down south of New Orleans, the prettiest girl I've ever seen. Sparkling eyes, lips so sweet. She makes love to the rum of it. Ships at anchor, my suitcase pack. A one-way ticket ain't a coming back. Life's a pleasure, love's a dream. Down south in New Orleans. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Well, we've got time for about one more tune here. We sure appreciate the chance to get to come and play on the show here today. We are the MacRae Brothers, and as I mentioned earlier in the show, we have a website called MacRaeBrothers.com. That's MACRAE Brothers.com. It's got our CD on there. It'll tell you where we're playing. We've got a bunch of upcoming shows that we'd love for you to look into, coming out and seeing. So on behalf of myself, Matt MacRae, and my singing partner here, Jake Quisenberry, also known as Jake MacRae, and from Saratoga, California, our bass player for today, Jerry Campbell. We sure appreciate everybody coming. We're going to do one more tune here, which comes out of the Stamps Baxter songbook, and it's a nice old gospel tune that goes back quite a long ways and has a nice, pretty kind of counterpoint harmony going on. You ready to kick this one off, Jakey?
I am.
Where the Soul of Man Never Dies. And I will spend eternity where the soul of man never dies. No friends there, no sad farewells, there will be no tear-dim night. Where all is peace and joy and love, and the soul of man never dies. And it shines to light the shores of home where the soul of man never dies. There's friends there will be no sad farewells, there will be no tear-dim night. Where all is peace and joy and love, and the soul of man never dies. And the soul of man never dies.
Thank you.
Very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, it's about time to wrap up our show for today. Is there any questions that I failed to ask, or points that you care to make that I may not have touched on?
No, I think I've told you about all I know.
I'm sure you know much more, Jake.
I would just say that I really encourage people to look into bluegrass and old-time country music. There's a whole lot to offer, and there's not all that many people out there playing or listening to it, but it's just one of those things that once you discover it, you wonder where you've been all your life. And I would say go to CaliforniaBluegrass.org and MacRaeBrothers.com and visit the websites and come take a look and go out and see some music and learn about what we're doing, because it's a wonderful thing.
Well, thank you for taking a few minutes to talk with us, Matt.
Well, thank you,
Pleasure
Jerry.
to see you here today.
Thank
And
you,
we hope
Jerry.
to see you fellows on stage right away.
All right, thank you.
And everyone out there from Morgan Hill, California, we bid you goodbye from the MacRae Brothers.
Bye-bye.